not great news this week. You went 2 or 3 from a first place club, and things should be peachy, right, Danny? Big injuries can kind of overshadow that. We touched on that before about Hunter Greene. Looks like he might be out for all of 2027, which is a rough go of it.
It's very devastating news, obviously. But I think at the same time, you still have to move on as an organization and as a team. You have to continue to try to get better in some way and just hope that you get him back sooner than later and healthy as can be. We talked about this before, Trent, like the whole situation with Junior, the years that he was hurt. You just hope for the best and hope that he can come back and be a part of the winning process of this organization. But yeah, it's devastating. But again, I think you obviously know Hunter more than I do. The kid's got some drive and determination. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to do what he needs to do to get where he needs to be again.
Welcome to Riverfront Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network. I am Trent Rosencrans, longtime Reds beat writer, currently with The Athletic. He is Mr. Danny Graves, the Reds all-time saves leader, Reds Hall of Famer, and our good buddy. So, Danny, one of these things, I kind of want to get your thought on this, because I think from the outside, guys are always, like, fans are like, oh my God, this is devastating or whatever. But when you're a pitcher, like, that's why you sign long-term contracts, because this is almost it seems injuries are inevitable throwing a baseball, right?
100%. Hunter Greene comes out looking like a genius because he, took this very team-friendly deal. And I know he didn't take it because, in case I get hurt, but obviously it's in the back of your mind when you're throwing a baseball, which our bodies are not meant to do, right? Like that's not normal. And with the velocity and the torque that he has and everybody has throwing a baseball, at some point, there's going to be something. I think if you could go into every pitcher's shoulder or elbow, there's something that's not 100% healthy in everybody's,
Yeah.
So, I mean,
even mine.
It's just, I mean, when you're throwing BP, it probably hurts a little bit, right?
More the next day.
Yeah. Well, because you played a lot growing up. So it's not like.
Yeah, we were always throwing every day, all year.
Yes.
Like we did, you and I were the same. Like all we did was play baseball, right? Yep. Is that all you did?
Yep.
Growing up? Like,
yeah.
It wasn't until I think it was funny. It was like, once I got to like 5th or 6th grade and my talents in other sports showed to be even less than baseball, which was something. It was like, okay, I'm just doing baseball until like I moved to a small school. That's when I had other sports, but like I played baseball all year round in Texas. We played our regular school season. We started in February because you could in Texas back then, and then we'd play. Once that was done, you'd play summer ball. Then you'd play late summer ball. Then you'd play fall ball, and then all winter we would throw in their gym.
Well, I played basketball 2 years at a little private school in middle school, but only because they needed an extra player, not because I was good or anything. But other than that, it was just baseball. I wasn't allowed to play anything else.
And you had a relatively injury-free for a pitcher. Like it's almost a miracle how little. Like what, one IL stint, or was it not?
One, yeah.
It was at the very end, though.
Yes, and it wasn't even my arm. It was my back. But when I got traded to Cincinnati in '97, I did have a torn labrum, in the off season. So I had surgery. Kremchek did surgery the week after the season, and I was ready to go in spring training. So a lot of people don't know I even had surgery.
Yeah, I didn't, and we've talked a lot about these things. And labrums are no fun.
No,
I have. No, but Doc Kremchek saw my torn labrum and said, "Well, you're not using your arm for anything important. It's fine. You can live through it, not pitch through it." And I wasn't pitching anyway, so.
Yeah, well, he told me when he did that surgery, he said, "You're probably going to need this in the next 8 or 10 years," and that's when I started like hurting again. He was right, but I never got another surgery, and now it hurts all the time. But it's okay because I don't need it.
I know this is a busy time of year for many of you, including AJ. When you're home, you need everything to get done fast with quality.
Absolutely. That's why factor meals are perfect for me. Ready in 2 minutes, healthy, pre-made, protein, all the things I like, vegetables, they're all mixed into one, and it's quick, easy, cleanup, done, boom, I'm full, move on to the next task.
No prep, no cleanup. Every week you'll find over 100 nutrient-dense menu items to choose from and new options like salmon burgers, shredded pork, and much more. Plus, add-ons you'll crave like pumpkin-flavored cheesecake and protein shakes. Let's eat real. Head to factormeals.com/FAL50OFF and use code FAL50OFF to get 50% off and one free breakfast item per box for 1 year while supplies last until 10/31/26. That's code FAL50OFF at factormeals.com. FAL50OFF, factormeals.com. See website for more details.
One of the things I thought is pretty cool, and we'll play some video from TJ Antone here. TJ Antone literally wrote the book on coming back from Tommy John surgery. And
Yeah.
what I thought was super cool, one of the many things I thought is super cool about that is a couple weeks ago, after it was published, and we're still going to have TJ on. This interview is not going to do this. We've talked about it, and he'll come on. And I really am actually really excited to hear you ask TJ some questions. But one of the things TJ said, the guy who literally wrote the book on coming back from Tommy John surgery, he was like, you know what? I've rehabbed with Hunter before. I know how he attacks rehab. I feel pretty good about how he will handle this. With Hunter, you've literally written the book on coming back from the Tommy John. Is it one of those things where, you do have some extensive knowledge about this? And I'm sure, I was like, he had the book before the surgery. And thank God you gave it to everybody. So you were saying, hey, get ready, bud.
I did. Gave it to everybody. Blake Dunn got it, and Hunter got it. But I reached out to Hunter. I just told him hey man, I'm sorry that you're going through this, and it's not fun when you first find out the news and you have to go through it right off the bat. You're in a really dark and not fun spot, because you want to be helping the team and you're just not. You're just broken, and so, I just reached out to him, just some words of encouragement, and just kind of told him, hey, read the book if you have time, and if you have any questions, I'm here for your help. And he was like, yeah, thanks, man. I can't wait to read it. So if he gets around to it, and I hope it helps him.
Yeah. And I mean, what is your advice for somebody because a lot of you guys have had it once.
Yeah.
And so everybody has advice for one. Mm-hmm. And then the guys who have advice for having it a second time in the revision it's a little more.
Yeah. As an athlete, having gone through something like that before, you feel immediately I'll be able to do this one easier, or I'll be able to do it quicker. And it's almost the opposite case, where you have to really take your time and just really slow down even more than you want to. And that's probably one of the hardest things to do. Because your body and your knowledge about the situation says, I've done this before, I know how to do this. Mm-hmm. And it's very easy to just kind of breeze past moments when something that should take 6 weeks for tissue to adapt, you want it to take 4, or right. You want it to take 5, and you're just trying to shave off a week here and there, and that's not, it's not really the best case scenario. You really want it to give your body time to adapt. And I think with the second time, you do have experience of how to listen to your body a little bit more. So you do have that experience of how to push a little bit more, how to pull back when you need to pull back. And but yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic going through it the second time.
Right, because your mind is saying, okay, I've done this before, I can probably do it quicker. Mm-hmm. And your body's saying, you've done this before, you need to take more time.
Exactly.
Because that's it. I mean, your body isn't.
No, and you're older, usually, always. Yeah.
Always older, yeah.
You're older, it's its own surgery, it's its own situation. So yeah, that would be my encouragement to him and anyone going through their second or third. Just take their time and just trust the process.
Does it? I don't know. I mean, you didn't have that many surgeries besides. That's really. Have you had surgeries other than your?
No,
I didn't think so.
Wisdom teeth.
But Hunter's had a couple other, and he knows
you don't mind listening.
No. He knows what it takes to rehab. Does that help some too?
Yeah, absolutely. I've rehabbed with Hunter before.
Yeah.
And so, he's a workaholic. He loves showing up every day on time, doing the things that matter. Like, honestly, anyone who plays at this level knows how to do that. So that's that's like the foundation of returning from anything. And I have all the hopes that Hunter's going to return better than he was before. And so I'm really looking forward to his process, and I think he'll be feeling really good after this.
Does just even the thought like that book exists, is that one of the reasons you really wanted to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there was no manual out there for me or for anyone, by a matter of with the Tommy John surgery. Everyone has their own way of doing it. Every team has their own philosophies around it, and I'm not even saying my philosophy is the best, but I just wanted to provide something for even just high school kids, college kids that maybe don't have the best direction of how they're going to do it or the approach they're going to take, and just get some thoughts behind it. And maybe it's just good to be a soundboard for some people through that process.
Well, it's like when you Google map directions to someplace, you can get 3 different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
And all end up at the same place.
Exactly.
So that's just the route you took.
Exactly.
And that route worked for you.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else there's
maybe it doesn't
accident on the
Exactly.
But I don't know. I guess that was one of those things that the fact that you did give the book to everybody, I'm guessing you didn't think it was going to be so germane so quickly with 2 guys.
Yeah, no, I didn't at all. That's not why I give it to everybody. But I think there's a lot of good philosophies in it, just going through adversity, and whether that's just going on a 0-for-20 stint hitting, or you give up a couple homers in a row on a couple outings, and you're just like, dang, how do I get through that adversity? All the way down to stop of play and surgeries and injuries. So there's just there's a lot of small tidbits of just my spiritual growth through it, and again, just trying to point people to Jesus in their walk, and just let them get to him however he approaches them. You know what I mean?
Last thing, just like, I don't know, is there something about how, I don't know, just like it's almost representation, right?
Yeah.
It shows why representation is important on so many things. That somebody somebody who looks like you, somebody who's done anything, has been able to do that, and that's what you're kind of doing right now.
Pioneering. I mean, I didn't want it to be about that or anything. I just wanted to give a tool of my knowledge base and kind of just go from there. Just try and help people in any way, shape, or form. So I'm hoping that from the feedback I've gotten so far, a lot of people have enjoyed it. Fans, players who have messaged me on Instagram. The guy was going through shoulder surgeries and said that it helped him, and I'm like, that's cool, and that's what it's all about. So,
what makes Hunter able to, like, in your mind, like, oh, well, Hunter's good. He'll come back and he's going to be strong.
Work ethic, 100%. Work ethic and focus. Like, he's got it. He's got it. So I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to make it back.
And that's something, like, when you've rehabbed with somebody, when you've gone through the dog days and, August in Goodyear, Arizona, and when you have to get up and run and do all the stupid little things you have to do to get through the day. Yeah. That's a huge thing. That's no small feat to be able to mentally handle all of that, right?
Yeah, and I think you're right. TJ wrote the book on rehabbing for TJ, and like, if he says that somebody's got the right preparation, the mental attitude, and the desire to go through rehab, I would 1,000% believe what he's saying, because he's done it 3 times trying to get back, and now that he's back, I'm pretty sure he knows the right way to go about rehabbing Tommy John.
And the other thing, again, this is not a TJ Antone appreciation pod, but we can have plenty of those. Like, he's doing things. It was funny. He's having me look it up because he was like, hey, I don't think I'd ever struck out the side, like, with just 3 batters. Maybe he'd walked or given up a hit, which, again, there's the debate which one is. He's like, I don't think I'd ever done that till yesterday.
Seriously?
Thursday, And I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. To, last week or before they left, he set a career high in innings pitched in one season. And then Thursday to do something he had never done before again after 3 Tommy John surgeries. That's
not even on opening day. Not even on the opening day roster.
Yeah, he earned his way back up, and
yeah,
and that is the other thing. And maybe this will go into this other question or thing I had about when I was talking to Michael Toglia today. There is something about when you earn your way back up that it is not. It's no longer about potential. It's no longer this guy was a first rounder. This guy was this or that. This is a guy who can help us and stay here. You may get to the big leagues doing something. There are very few of these, but maybe you can get to the big leagues as a good story. You don't stay as a good story. And you got TJ Antone, Julian Garcia. I mean, you have some really good stories. And like once you're up here and you perform, you've done it. Like it's no longer any favors.
Exactly. And I don't know how the signing went to get TJ to sign back a minor league deal, but I would imagine he wasn't getting many offers with other organizations. So yeah, you almost think Cincinnati was doing him a favor. Hey, if you can get back, we can bring you up. And so it turns out, I'm not going to be honest with you, I just thought it was going to be a great story that he even made it back for one game in the big leagues.
And that is a phenomenal story.
You're right. It is.
This is a better story.
Is. Yeah. But I think it's more important because of the success that he's having now, not just him getting back. Like he's good. He's not just a guy that, okay, we're going to bring him up for the story.
And actually, it's funny. I remember when he got called up and we were doing all that, and like talking to Johnny Venters, and that's what Johnny Venters was talking about. And one of the things TJ said about Johnny was like, here's a guy who pitched really well afterwards. It's not enough to do it; it's then to maintain. And what we've seen, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
But Toglia, the question I asked Michael a bit was about if it was sometimes, because it is tough when you have been in the big leagues and then you're in the minor leagues and you've been on that up-down train. He's been on the up-down train. You've been on that up-down train.
Yeah.
But I asked him, is it a little bit easier because it's with a new organization? And you came up with Cleveland and then got traded over to Cincinnati. He was up with Colorado for quite a bit and then came here, and he said it really was in part just because like there are times where you're like, oh, why did they pick this guy up over me? And you have all this history and you can get in your own head. And he said that like when he didn't make the opening day squad, he goes, you know what? He just said, hey, I might be in Louisville all year. I'm going to make it tough. And that's exactly what he's done. Yeah. Is it easier to, of course, that's the attitude you want to have. Is it easier to have that attitude with a new organization?
Yes, I absolutely. Because if you're sent up and down by the only organization you've ever been in, it's like, are they really giving up on me and just they don't want to give me a chance for whatever reason? This guy they're bringing up and not me. You kind of get deflated a little bit and you get pissed. And then, of course, there goes your performance. You can't perform as well as you need to be. But when you go to a new organization after being let go or not re-signed, then it's like, oh, I get to start over. And now I have to prove how good I was or how good I was supposed to be. So in a new organization, you have all new eyes on you and you have to prove not just what you can do on the field, what kind of player you are in the clubhouse, what kind of person you are off the field. So yeah, I think it's almost like a rejuvenation when you get to do that with another team. It sucks doing it with your own team, but yeah.
And like, I was just kind of just chit-chatting with Michael and just being like, man, it looked like every day you and Hector, one of you guys had at least 3 hits and the other guy had at least a bomb. And I didn't know which day it was. He was like, yeah, man, it's been fun. And he said Michael Chavis as well. The 3
That's
of them.
That's another guy who's a big leaguer.
He's a big leaguer. The other thing is just kind of a nice thing. And I probably will want to do a story on this a little bit later. But like, Toglia was just talking about not only was Chavis just raking, but he was like one of my favorite teammates I've ever had.
Really?
Always good. Yeah, he just said like, and like, I got that impression from spring training. Like I had just some of the most wonderful conversations with this guy. It's like, sometimes our role is different. Like, when that clubhouse doors, a guy can be really good to the media or really bad to the media, and we don't see the real guy who travels and every day and who's that.
Yeah.
And some guys can be kind of like prickly to the media, but then loved by teammates. Arthur Rhodes, that's a perfect example. I remember people being like, Arthur Rhodes, like for media, like, oh man, that guy. And then you hear his teammates go, oh, best ever. Like, really?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
And then there are guys who always there for the camera, and we won't name any names, and just like, oh man, that guy's great for us. And his teammates are like, thank God he's gone. I've seen both of those and everything in between.
Yeah.
But that is really hard to do in the minors, especially as a guy who has big league time. You were in the minors as a guy who had all-stars. How tough is that just mentally when you are one of those guys to keep it right?
So obviously it was tough because I never got back, but I think
Sorry.
Yeah, well, no. I'm glad you asked it that way because that's really what it was. I wasn't good enough. I tried to be good enough, but I wasn't there, and I wasn't able to get up, and I wasn't expecting to be called up after being in the big leagues for so long, and then trying to get back. I looked at my time in the minor leagues at the back end was, okay, I need to do what I have to do so that this young kid that might get a chance to go up sees what a big leaguer is supposed to do. I didn't want to make it seem like I was pissed or miserable about being in the minor leagues. I wanted to make it seem like, hey, I still get paid good money, even in AAA, to play baseball. I could be doing a lot worse things.
Well, and quite honestly, that's probably why at the very end you were still getting chances. Like that Cleveland chance, they knew, hey, this guy's going to come in and he's going to be good for us. He's going to be a good teammate, a Michael Chavis type, one of those guys who can do it. And quite honestly, we were talking earlier, to bring this back around, I think the Reds, just based on who I've talked to and what I've seen, they got more than their money worth out of TJ Antone before he threw a major league pitch. Somebody like that who cares so much to write a book. One of the coolest things I think about his book is that he said it was Becky Schneckenberg, who runs a lot of their education stuff, mentioned it to him. He's like, oh yeah. And so he found out how to do it. He's having that book translated into Spanish because those guys don't have that as much,
right.
And it's just one
That's
more
awesome.
thing. And like, I think that's like the coolest part. One of the coolest parts of that story is that, and so he's hired, it's not out yet because he had to hire someone to translate it. But how cool is that? And that tells you something about a person's character, right?
Yeah. You know how many more people he's going to reach that since they're going to have a Spanish translation? I mean, it's going to quadruple because there's so many baseball players, young teenage baseball players in the Dominican and Venezuela that don't speak English.
Right. And he was talking about how, like, he didn't write it as much for big leaguers. Like Hunter Greene's going to have the very best private team, whatever, to help him through his rehab. Johnny Baseball at Cincinnati High School is not.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And he might have some things or even more, like some guy out in the middle of nowhere. Some kid in Wyoming who has to have Tommy John surgery and doesn't have those kind of facilities. He can read this. And it goes to why representation is so important, just so that you can to know that it's possible what you can do. And it's possible to come back from a Tommy John surgery, 2 Tommy John surgeries, 3. And that's amazing to know.
Yeah. And before we go to break, I want to know if there's an audio version because reading is hard.
Not yet. We've talked about that. I might. I could see. I wouldn't be shocked if TJ did that in the off season. Right now he's a little busy, and knowing TJ, he would probably want to read it, and I think it'd be a phenomenal job. I actually, was one of those things where I picked it up for the first time last night. Like, okay, because TJ's been on me about reading it, and I started and read for like an hour and a half last night. So I'm not done yet, but I'm getting there.
I wish I would have
really
known
good.
you were reading it. I would have asked you to record it for me, to hear your voice.
Danny, when I read, I don't read out loud. I can read silently. It's kind of important because I would piss everybody off in the press box if I'm sitting there reading my my brilliant prose while I'm writing it.
Oh, you read it during the game?
No. Like when I read anything, I don't read it out loud.
No, but you would have been doing me a favor.
Yeah, I know. We're going on the break.
Science experiment for the 1 minute we have to tell you about why we love Quince electrolytes, including watermelon salt, raspberry salt, and I'm holding a citrus salt. Just opened it. I'm going to pour some powder into my water, shake it up. And AJ, why do you love it?
I love Quince because after a long night out, a long day at the gym, a long walk in this Florida humidity, it tastes great and it gives me all the electrolytes I need. Why? Sugar-free, stevia-free, keto-approved, and tastes sweet because of that delicious fermented rice.
It does taste really good. I'm drinking it right now while we talking about it. It's also made in the USA, rigorously third-party tested. Give your body what it really needs to stay hydrated. Go to quince.com/foul for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/FOUL for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/foul. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Another thing, not the on-field news from Thursday's game, Sal Stewart. So I asked a couple of pitchers this, and like TJ was like, "Oh, that's a really good question. I like this." And I asked, I think Emilio, TJ, Sam Ball, some guys who've watched him. What is it about Sal Stewart that pisses off pitchers? You're a pitcher.
Yeah. And I don't mean any disrespect in this, because I love the guy, but if you're an outsider, an opposing pitcher, you think he's arrogant and you think he's like digs himself and then thinks that he's the best hitter in baseball. I know that to not be true, but I mean, he's pretty good. Like, he's really good. But as an opposing pitcher, yeah, you kind of get that vibe from him but I think that's just a confidence.
Right.
You know, I think he's very confident in his abilities. By all means, is that not arrogant?
Right. It's just a statement of fact.
Yeah. Yeah. He should be confident in his abilities. I think everybody should be.
Well, and here's the thing that I think people, when you're a little further away, you don't quite understand. If you don't have that confidence in your abilities, you don't make it to this level.
Right.
That's what the minor leagues do, is they weed out guys. There are guys with a lot of ability, but you have to marry the ability with the belief and the confidence. And the guys who don't have that confidence, because even like, hell, I was talking to Sam Maul. Take Sam Maul, for example, yourself, for example. Nobody is getting scared when they see Sam Maul or Danny Graves walk off the bus.
Right. Wait, you're this isn't intimidating?
Yeah, the baby-faced assassin is like a backhanded compliment, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. I think there's part of that, like when you don't look, and even Sal, you know, I don't think people understand what a good athlete Sal is, and that's where some of his stolen bases have come from. Some of his extra bases have come from. Is people look at him and they're like, okay, this maybe he can hit, but he's not an athlete.
Well, can I tell you why real quick? I think
please, exactly.
That is out there because the first time people saw him raking last year, he was a little big. He looked out of shape. So I think that's the perception that people have on him now, that he's supposed to be this chunky dude that can hit, but it's far from the truth.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the speed scores, everything we have. He does that. He's also a ball player, and when guys have grown up playing baseball like he has. Like Ellie De La Cruz. Like, I mean, that's the one thing I think is often overlooked with Ellie is the baseball IQ. These two are very smart baseball players. That's why Matt McClain's still here, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Because of that ball player ability and to, even if when you're not getting hits, to help the team in other ways.
Yeah. And that's not teachable. Like
No.
The IQ is you have it or you don't. And obviously the ones that do have it, they stick around a little bit longer.
So it's funny. So how much do you think, like, and again, this is you projecting, you did not play in the time of ABS, but when you see a guy who is as wheeling and as successful as Sal Stewart is with the ABS, could that be part of it too? Because you not only have to fool him and maybe sometimes fool the umpire, then you have to fool him again.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine striking somebody out and then that player going, no, I don't think you did, and it getting reversed?
Yeah. Insane. The knowledge of the strike zone that he has is ridiculous. To be able to be so successful at challenges like that, I mean, and some of these pitches are not far off.
Oh.
They look like strikes until you see the ABS. And to be able to have the confidence and knowing, I know my strike zone, I know what the plate is, I know the dimensions, I know where it's going to be, is amazing. And that might be another reason too that pitchers don't think too highly of Sal, because they think he's complaining, but he's not. A strike is a strike and a ball is a ball.
And it stinks as a pitcher to sometimes have to throw 4 strikes to strike somebody out.
Yeah. So that
'Cause
pisses
three's
them
hard
off
enough.
even more.
Yeah.
Well, dude, having one nasty strike is hard enough. The way that the guys hit these days, unless they're just full on taking. Yeah, you can't throw a cookie. You got to hit spots.
No, it is really interesting. And I don't know, and hopefully I'm going to write this a little later, maybe Monday or so. But there are some other really cool things talking, and it was funny. Like, I got really different answers from all 3 of the guys. So I'm going to probably go backfill and ask some other guys this, because I found it really interesting. Just one of the things being his ability to hit that 4-seam fastball, but also hit the sinker. To hit both of those and to protect the plate. And, and then Sam Maul was talking about how, some guys are pesky, but when they get you, they're going to get you for a single. Like, Sal's pesky and can get you for a 400-foot bomb.
Yeah. Sal, is such a cliche, but, they say hit it where it's pitched. That's what Sal does. If he can't drive it out of the ballpark, left center gap, he's gonna fist it and hit him a nice single to right. But then if you try to go away from him, he's gonna shoot you over the fence to right center field. Like, there's so many different parts of Sal Stewart and his swing. Like, he knows where his barrel is gonna be when he swings. It's not just swinging wildly.
And he'll also spit on something, like a spit on a really good pitch.
Yeah.
And every really good pitch is hard to call, right? Like, if it's a really good pitch, it's going to be hard for that umpire to call. And
yes,
it could be, I would think it would just be, going back to the ABS, it would be so deflating to make one of those pitches. Because you knew when you got away with a pitch, right?
A lot. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so that, to make that pitch do exactly what you want, be rewarded, and then have it taken away from you. That.
Rewarded, and then all your adrenaline, you're excited, and then they say, okay, that's actually not strike 3. Then you're like, seriously, I got to do this again? Yeah. Sal Stewart, I would love to hear what these other guys say about him, because it's a humble confidence, and people hate humility and they hate confidence. I don't understand it.
And it's so funny, because TJ was talking about afterwards. He's like, for a rookie, the way he's handled this and what he's said has been exactly what you would want. But you get him on the field, and he's not backing down, and he doesn't believe that anybody's better than him, which is what you have to to succeed here.
100%, yes.
And he's been pretty darn good.
And he's going to continue that for a long time.
He's really an impressive player. I don't know. I think it's really kind of exciting to think about, hey, you know what? All things else considered, we know this guy's going to be in the middle of our lineup for a while. I'm going to ask you this. How would you compare him and Sean Casey?
More power than Sean, for sure, I think. More
Probably
consistent power.
Probably a little better athlete or faster.
Yeah, and Sean won't get
'Cause
mad if I
Sean's
say
strong.
this, because Sean will
And
agree.
he's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah, Sal is I think a way better athlete, because you can't put Sean at second base, or I think even third base.
Yeah.
Great first baseman and great agility and big, strong dude, but Sal has the mobility to play other infield positions, and that's not easy. That's not easy to do.
But at the plate, do you see some similarities between the two at the plate?
Yes, very disciplined. Knows the strike zone. Casey knew the strike zone, and he was the guy that hit it where it was pitched also. Like, he could fist one over to third baseman's head like the best of them, and it's a double. And he could drive one to right center field if you left it out over the plate.
To have 3 first basemen since the Reds have moved to this ballpark that they have, I mean, this looks like the guy who you can mention with the other 2.
Oh, easily. I wouldn't.
And those 2
hesitate
guys
saying
were
that.
really, really good.
Really good. Yeah, one's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
One's in the Reds
already in
Hall
the
of
Reds
Fame.
Hall of Fame.
The other one probably will get in the Reds Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I would imagine so. But yeah, career 300 hitters. And I mean, yeah, he's going to be right up there with them. The only righty out of the 3.
Yeah. And yeah, that is a good point. So, right-handed hitter.
Yeah, right-handed hitter. Yeah, he's a special player, man. He really is.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. So awesome. Well, Danny, hey, thanks for joining us once again here at Foul Territory, part of the our Riverfront Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network. Got that mixed up in my head. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you. You can subscribe below. Make sure you don't miss any others. Also, if you're listening on audio or want to listen on audio, if you're watching on video and like, hey, I want to take this in the car with me, check out the podcast everywhere you get podcasts. Mine, I'm back to the Apple podcast. I kind of miss, I was on something else, and I kind of miss it, so I'm not sure. We'll see if I switch with this. But subscribe there. Subscribe on YouTube. Don't miss Danny Craves' lovely face. The more Danny you can get, the better.
But if you don't want to see the face, which I don't, you can listen to us anywhere.
We shall see you again Sunday night or Monday morning if you want to listen that way. But we shall be back. So thanks, everybody, for joining us.